Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think it's important that these two subcommittees meet together this morning. This hearing that deals with the review of the implementation of the Federal Farm and Disaster Program is fitting and appropriate given the challenges that we're facing today in farm country. And for all of the members that are participating, I thank you. I also want to note that it was important that Chairman Peterson clarify the history and the record as it relates to these activities that were most recently involved with the continuing resolution that we need to pass this week, and that we need to obviously have a budget because, frankly, it's irresponsible to shut down government. I've always felt it's irresponsible, and past actions by previous Congresses to do just that for political agendas is inappropriate, period. And certainly, I think the President learned that lesson the hard way last year. At least I hope he did. The history of the CCC, which, as the Chairman Peterson pointed out, is really not known by the majority of members of Congress until this last week, is important to note because, frankly, we should not be politicizing this. It's not the part of this committee. My sense is it really came from the Senate as well, but we have to deal with it. So what we're dealing with today is to talk about where the safety net is. Where's the safety net for farmers and ranchers and dairy people across this country? And as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Livestock, I'm very interested in overseeing that the new dairy margin coverage program that we worked so hard on in the reauthorization of the last farm bill and the administration's market facilitation program is properly implemented. And that's why we have the Secretary here today in part. The dairy margin coverage sign-up for 2019 was set to end tomorrow. Now, I think it's important that we give dairy men and women every opportunity to sign up for this program. We'll be asking the Secretary where we are in terms of that sign-up and whether or not your numbers kind of coincide with the numbers that I've heard. I hope there can be a little bit of flexibility with that deadline tomorrow. This year, given that we have a brand new program, but at the same time, I know you get the challenge because we get the sign up for the 2020 program. So I'm sympathetic to the challenge that the department is facing in that instance. But it's been tough in dairy country across the land. We know the large fluctuations in the amount of dairies that have gone bankrupt and have been sold in every region of America, and we certainly have lost our fair share in California. I know dairymen and women that have been there for generations that now find themselves having to sell the dairy, and it's tough, and it has economic ramifications in the communities where those dairies have been. Nationwide, though, the program, I think, in terms of success, has triggered, I'm told, over $1 billion in help, $250 million, excuse me, let me correct that, $250 million in help to dairy farmers throughout the country, and that's good. That's obviously what the intention was. I have a difference with the administration, with the President on this tariff war. I've been clear about that. The President has said that farmers are better off with market facilitation program payments than they were with the access they had to China before the trade war. I think in the USMCA, we've made some headway with Canada on that Section 7. I can tell you the dairy market's very important for California and Mexico. But yet, when I talk to farmers, it's not just my disagreement with this, that no one wins a tariff war because everybody has leverage, but farmers in California are feeling the pain of it, and they agree. They think that it's important that they have access to markets and they maintain those markets, and they're very fearful when we lose these markets because of this current trade war, we may never regain them, and that is a concern I have. So the market facilitation program and how those monies are used for the payments really don't come close. So I mean, the example in dairy, 12 cents per hundredweight. I mean, you're getting $16 to $18 per hundredweight, 12 cents, you know, it's in the margins. It may stave off a bankruptcy or a foreclosure by a bank for a certain time period, but 12 cents per hundredweight is not going to save a dairy. So I don't know what the USDA leadership thinks. I'm interested. I've got a few questions on how the market facilitation program was set up and how you're implementing it. But Chairman Vella, thank you for agreeing to host this joint hearing with me. Secretary Northey, you've got a farm background. You know how difficult it is in farm country. And we appreciate your participation here this morning to give us a sense of with your testimony, where we're going with this.